Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here, and welcome back to Unicross. So I got a huge update video for you guys. Not only are we going to talk about every medal in this current banner, but I'm also going to show you future medals with full down breakdowns, showing you multipliers, buffs, what they're good for, and my opinion on all of it. I might sound a little bit stuffed. I'm really sick right now. Not really sick. I'm recovering from a really bad sickness, but my sinuses are just gone. So I might sound a little funky right now. Either way, guys, we're going to go over all this. Before I do that, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys were showing me. I just hit 10,000 subscribers. I made a thank you video with me, Penelope, and everything you guys wrote there was absolutely amazing. So I just want to take a second to say, once again, thank you guys. Love you so much. The support has been unstoppable. So let's jump in this before I can't speak anymore. The current banner is, well, I guess I could go to shop. I can do my daily Moogle while we do this too. So the current banner is a falling price deal with all the old medals that just came out, but they're not obsolete. They're just all the medals we got is from the debut banners, the banners before that. Shitty ass pull. Shitty ass pull. Whatever. My luck's not that good. This has almost every single medal that just came out, but they put like all the good ones except for like 2 medals, and I'm gonna talk about that. So debut banner that we just had and the one before that were really good, and somehow they were the bait banners. Not really, because they were specific and they gave you 5 medals and you knew what you were getting, where this one the pool is much bigger than we expected when we saw the Twitter announcement. But before I get into that, we got 300 jewels for the maintenance. Once an update does happen, that's when that new effect will come in where they talk about the pull rates. But for now, I don't think that's in here. So let's talk about the actual debut banner. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, I can't breathe. I wish I could breathe properly. But anyways, so the falling price deal, which if you guys don't know what that is, at your 5th pull, you're going to only spend 1,900 jewels per pull, which means super, super cheap pulls. But on top of that, you're getting 2 premiums that can become 3-orbed. That means in one pull, you can get 8 premium medals. Now, they're not good for traits because let's say you pull a Dazed Riku and an Anti-Form Sora, and they both come 3-orbed. You only have 1 of each without traits. But you technically have 4 copies of them. So if you're super lucky, you can get 8 medals in one pull. That is way better than anything we have ever had. I think this is way better than JP has ever had. This banner is one of the best banners I've seen, and I just recently said that with the debut banners. This banner just made those banners, again, look like bait. But the pool of this banner is just a little bit bigger. So here's tier 5s, tier 6s, and tier 7s. So it's not just 5 medals in one banner. So in a way, it's a little bit weaker in that point. But all the medals here are absolutely amazing, except for like 2. If you include the tier 5s, then 3, but I'm going to talk about them individually. I just want to point out that this goes from 3,000 jewels to 2,500 to 2,200 to 2,000 to 1,900 jewels a pull. Less than 2,000 jewels a pull, which is incredible. And again, you get 2 medals here, and they become pre-strengthened 1 to 3 orbs. And not only that you can also pull more premiums during this. So you can get your 2 guarantees, and you can get more other ones just randomly here and there. So the possibilities, how much medals you can pull here are incredible. Before I break down this and I talk about future medals and all that, just remember, pull accordingly to your game. Do you have these medals already? Are they guilted? Then you're safe. If you have Dazed Riku, Anti-Form Sora, HD Vanitas, or any of those swords, the Final Form Sora, the Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon, you are kind of safe. You're safe. You can skip this. Don't do this for traits. If you really want to go for traits, go ahead. Trading these medals will mean these medals will last longer in your game if you get the right traits, but that's all a gamble. You can pull 4, 5, 6 Dazed Riku, put it on top of your boosted Dazed Riku if you have one, and you can get pure Paralysis Resist, Poison Resist, Sleep Resist over and over and over, and then you kind of just wasted your jewels, because at that point, it's just fodder towards a medal. You're not increasing its power, you're not making its guilt go higher, you just wasted jewels on a gamble. That is pure gambling. Don't go for traits. If you guilted some of these medals and you're powerful already, traits are not a good idea. If you don't have any gilted of these yet and you get these in the process, then getting traits and gilted at the same time, awesome. But don't go for traits. Traits are never a good idea. They can turn out super good or they can turn out super, super bad, which is waste. But anyways, again, that's pretty much everything. No matter what you do, no matter how many times you save jewels, you can save jewels towards the new medals I'm about to show you. But when those medals come out, there's going to be something better. And if we lose the ability to see what's coming out next in JP and wherever catch up, no matter what, if we get a new banner, the banner after that is most likely going to be better. The medal after that is most likely going to be better. That's how these games are. That's how they keep the attention of everyone. It's always going to get better. You can log in every day, collect your 300 jewels from dailies, collect your daily login bonus. Don't play and don't spend and just keep saving, saving, saving. And in 6 months, you can catch up just by spending all those jewels. You can never really fall behind. Every banner is designed to help newcomers join the game. A new person that just joins right now, if they pull a bunch here, go through story mode, and then just get these medals and guilt them, they caught up. Everyone's caught up because of this banner right here. So, with that being said, put that in your mind. If you're not strong right now and you don't have any of these medals guilted, I would consider pulling, because every medal after this is going to be an EX medal or it's going to be a new banner. So it might be a Mercy Pull 15, Mercy Pull 10, or not have a Mercy Pull at all because it's the newest medal. Newest medals will always be hard to get, and then you get medals, banners like this, which makes those medals a lot easier to get so people can catch up. So that's kind of me repeating myself, but in different little sections, if that made sense to everyone. Let's go into this and let's talk about it. I don't know why they wrote here, note this is not a guaranteed within X turns. There's medals everywhere. Which medal would you want most from here? Most likely the copycat medals is what you guys want to see a lot. If you can see a lot of copycat medals, you're golden. Now, before you make your decision to pull, because you're watching this video and you're trying to get an idea, copycat medals like this, I'm going to show you all the future stuff coming out that compares to this. But remember, the future stuff is not going to be guaranteed. It might not have a mercy. So a banner that guarantees a lot of good medals in one place is a solid banner, in my opinion. I give this banner a 10 out of 10. Actually, a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if the pool system was a little bit smaller and it didn't contain the tier 5s down here. But talking about the tier 5s, let's start from there. And of course, I have my little slideshows, cutouts, everything to show you guys to make you understand this a little better. Now, in my me giving value to these medals depend on you having Kyrie X or Xion X. If you don't have Kyrie X or Xion EX, then not only are you going to look at the multiplier, look at the utility. So in this case, the tier 5s here, they raise strength by 3 tiers for 2 turns. Again, if you don't have a Kyrie X or Xion EX, you're not having all the buffs and debuffs, so you got to look at that part as well. For everyone that has Kyrie X and Xion EX, we're only looking at multipliers because that's all you need. After you double cast or copy your Kyrie X or Xion EX, you don't need any other medals utility. All the utility you need is in Kyrie X and Xion EX, so we look at the medals multiplier. So what's the medals multiplier? Where you see that orange thing, it says max guild special in orange, and to the right of it, it's like 5.80 to 10.15. So these medals, if your party is full or somewhere around there, I don't think that it matters if it's at 29, 28. I think it has to be 30, but I could be wrong, correct me. This multiplier is an AoE of 10.15, which is just below the average. Medals that came out now, like the HD Pete that buffs your reverse strength, he's an 11 point something, where these medals are 10.15. This AoE is better than the Foretellers AoE. The Foretellers AoE is a 9.96, where this AoE is a 10.15. And if you guys follow my free-to-play account, I use the HD Valor Form Sora in my free-to-play guides. I have it fully guilted, and I use it on the pet slot, and I copy with the anti-form Sora, and I wreck a lot of the event quests that are coming out, and the story mode, and if it fits in proud mode, obviously it's going to ruin. So these medals are the weakest, but they're not terrible. Again, this AoE is better than the Foretellers AoE, and like I said, Xion EX and Kyrie X means it doesn't matter that Foretellers have all these buffs and debuffs. The multiplier is weaker than this multiplier. Again, the only thing that the Foretellers have going for them is some of them have 1 hit, which is really good as an MVP medal for high score challenges, because these guys deal 5 hits, so not really good for MVPs. But again, we're going to take that away, and we're just going to look at pure damage and helping people carry on. So that's the tier 5s. That's a tier 5 list. Again, weakest, but not out of the class. Now we have tier 6s, which there is a total of 6 of them. So here's the tier 6s. You can't really see it. It's a little bit small. But starting from the top is Illustrated Neku. Then we have Larxene. These two are exactly the same. The only difference between them is that Neku is just a little bit weaker. I think it's how you say his name. I forget. Tyler's going to kill me here. Anyways, 13.19 versus 13.61. They both do the same thing. The description of theirs from an old cut I had. I forgot to get a new one. But they both deal more damage the more gauges are used this turn. So you have to use 10 SP in order to get that 13.19 multiplier or that 13.61. If you're looking at utility, Larxene only debuffs herself. Only herself general defense down, where Illustrated Neku, he gives you 4 attribute up for speed. But again, if you take that away because you have Illustrated Kairi and Shion, the multipliers are on par of being the top multipliers in the game. These are really solid AoE medals. Anything 13 and above is top tier. With that being said, we're going to carry on into Illustrated Aqua B, which is a single target medal, and her condition inflicts more damage the more gauges are full. So you have to have more than 10 SP on your Keyblade, not activate 10 SP. You have to have 10 SP after you activate her. She has a multiplier of 15.15, which is really, really good. It's right below, I would say it's top tier, but right below. So like a B ranking instead of an A ranking. So 15.15, if you pull her and you guilt her, she's going to be amazing. And she also comes along with a general defense down for 2 turns. So again, another solid medal in this banner. Now, the next 2 medals, Nipple Sora down there, which is Atlantica Sora, and the Illustrated Arin. These two, if you don't need the utility on the Sora there, then he's the worst one to pull. His multiplier is just way too low to make him a damage dealer. 8.23 is a very sad multiplier. And Illustrated Arin, he is fixed damage, which a lot of us don't really need, especially with all these upright and reverse strength buffs in the game. So if you pull those two, you kind of pull the weakest ones, unless you don't have Kairi EX or Shion EX, then Atlantica Sora there is actually pretty good for the debuffs that he has. And you have a chance to gain all these traits that like extra attack, which makes it even better. Now in the corner, the best thing to pull from here is that HD Antiform Sora, because it fits on the end of the Fairy Stars, and it's a copycat medal, a tier 6 copycat medal, which is extremely good still. Even though we have tier 7 copy medals in the game, tier 6 copy medal and tier 5 is still really good. HD Nominee still has its place. So best ones to pull from here are obviously the top 3 and the Antiform Sora. All of them are golden. The worst ones you're going to see in this is that Arin and Atlantica Sora, because even the tier 5s are better than the Atlantica Sora when you have the Kairi or Shion. Now let's move into the tier 7s, which there is a pool of 7 of them, which are all extremely good. Now the first clip I'm going to show you here is the 3 I just want to break down individually. Pete being the medal with the reverse strength up, which is really good. The only other way to get that was dual wield Roxas EX, and that medal was impossible to get for free to play or average players that only bought VIP once in a while. You had to have a lot of jewels to get that medal or super lucky. So Pete's and Shion EX is another way to get that. But again, Shion EX is another system where you either super lucky or you have a lot of jewels. So Pete's the only way for a free-to-play player to have a reverse strength up currently, which makes him really good. And 11.34 makes him the average multiplier for AoE. 11.34 is not super low, but it's not super high. It's still going to do damage, and it's a lot of places. Second up is HD Vanitas, which is an incredible copycat medal. It fits beautifully on the Fairy Stars to copy your Days Riku if you want, or your Valor Genie. If somehow you got extra attack on your Shion or Kairi EX, then you don't really need to backwards copy or forward copy it because you have 2 casts there. So with that being said, HD Vanitas on Diamond Dust, on anything, Moogle Glory, any slot that has reverse blue, or even your pet slot to copy your friend medal that they got lucky and they're sharing some super incredible strong medal, HD Vanitas and Antiform Sora say in the pet slot are going to do an immense amount of damage. And if you didn't pull your own HD Zexion, you can copy your friend's Zexion and survive a bunch of quests. Copycat medals have unlimited value, always good to see, guys. Then HD Zexion, I've showed you my free-to-play account, I've showed you many guides that this is the best utility medal to help you survive and buff yourself. That is top tier right there. 11.88 is almost at really good damage, but it's just a little bit above average. So it hits in the average because it's 11 multiplier for AoE, but we don't really care about that. We care about that utility. He lowers the enemy's strength by 1 tier. He raises your attribute defense by 2 tiers for 2 turns, along with the attribute PSM up, and you also have 1 general defense down. Just so much utility in one. But this medal replaces HPO, it replaces any medal, even Master Ava. It replaces that medal in the utility of helping you survive. This is the best tanking medal in the game, in my opinion, and honestly, you can complete so much. Even Coliseum, you can survive a bunch of hits from high tier Coliseum. So in my opinion, tier 7s are incredible. And like I said, these 3 I'm taking out here and individually talking about it. We're going to talk about the rest of the tier 7s. Any tier 7 you pull, guys, it's going to increase your game. So from this point on, these medals are in the game, and they're currently, half of them are in this banner. I just want to talk about right here, the best single target medals are the High Score Challenge Valor Genie, the Jack Skeleton, that's the future, it's not in the game currently, that's the speed one in the middle, the green one. That we might not get at all, but the Hercules B is in this current banner right now, and you can pull them. You could have pulled them from the debut banner before that, and you guys know how much I praise this medal. Hercules, Valor Genie, and Jack Skeleton are the best single target medals in JP and North America. 19.80, and they also raise their respectful attributes. So Hercules raises 7 power, Jack raises 7 speed, and Genie raises 7 magic, which is the cap. But again, if you have Kairi X or Xion EX, you don't care about those buffs, just the multiplier, and these are god tier right here. Hercules 19.80 is in this current banner, solid medal to pull. And take this in mind, I'm going to use this clip again because this is the maximum amount of multiplier that we have and are going to get for single medals. So that being said, the AoE medals that are in this current banner, all 3 of these right here are top tier. The only thing is that these medals have to be on certain slots. The Leon has to be on your pet slot, Days Riku has to be on the 3rd slot, and Final Form Sora has to be on the 5th slot, which means a perfect Fairy Stars. So Fairy Stars 3rd slot is Upright Magic Riku. 5th slot on the Fairy Stars is Upright Speed. There you go, Sora. And then the pet slot, Leon. Your Fairy Stars can use all 3 of these medals and 2 Kairi EXs or Xion EXs in the beginning, most likely Kairi for her upright strength, and you guys have a perfect Keyblade. 13.80 is top tier AoE, and currently there's still nothing that beats that multiplier without a little bit of extra help. So raw multiplier, these guys have the best multipliers, and even though they have to be stuck on a certain Keyblade slot, the Fairy Star complements these medals no problem. And again, if you watch my free-to-play guides, I am passing everything with Days Riku alone, along with the Valor Genie, or in this case Hercules B now for a lot of you guys. So with that being said, AoE, best AoE multiplier in game is 13.80, and best single target is 19.80. So all in this banner, we have incredible copycat medals, we have the best AoE in game, and one of the best single target in game, Hercules B. Everything else before that can also compete and help you complete so many events. So again, I give this banner a 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. I would say 8.5 out of 10, just because the pool is so big and there's technically 5 medals that you don't want to pull, but even if you pull them and you're new, it's not going to hurt. It's only going to hurt people that already have a lot of these medals and just want to guilt them because they don't have Fantasia Mickey B's. So that's why it gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me, guys. I've never really used this, but I'm using this now because this banner is one of the best banners I've seen between both games, JP and North America. There is other ones, it depends on what you guys are looking at, but for just helping new players and free-to-play players, this is a solid banner. So from this point on, guys, if you don't want to be spoiled, which I did spoil just a little bit with that Jack Skeleton there, but again, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look at this part, but I'm going to show you basically everything that's coming out and help you make up your own decision. The medals you currently have, are you strong enough, or do you want to pull currently, or do you want to wait for what I'm about to show you? So This is my list for what's up next. I marked out what we already got, which is the VIP medal down there, and those are the rest of the VIP medals and high score challenge medals that are left. In polls, where you see question marks on Oogie Boogie and Jack Skellington, again, we're not guaranteed those medals because of some licensing issues. We haven't seen a Nightmare Before Christmas medal in a long time, so most likely we won't get those 2 question marks. So that leaves Xehanort and Axel over there to be the next pullable medals, which should be in the next 2 weeks or less. At least Master Xehanort or HD Axel. Those should be our next pullable EX medals. Well, and then when you guys have the VIP medals, I'm not going to really talk about them. They're just a bunch of utility. So if you didn't get Kyrie X, the best one is Roxas Santa. That's the one you guys want to be aiming for if you only want to spend some money. So you can skip Chicken Little, you can skip the Toon medals. The Roxas Santa Roxas there is solid. As for the high score challenge section over there, the Illustrated Halloween Donald we just got was an amazing multiplier, no condition. It's top tier multiplier. It's not the best multiplier, but it's a 13.56, which is just below the 13.80 I told you guys to remember right here. 13.80, the Illustrated Halloween Donald we just got, and that Illustrated Halloween Goofy and that Aladdin carpet you guys see are all the same metal. They restore gauges. They have a 13.56 multiplier. I could be wrong though, give or take. And they're all AoE, but the only difference is one is for power, one is for magic, and one is for speed. So all 3 of those high score challenge medals are going to be absolutely amazing for AoE damage. So if you don't pull the Dazed Riku, the Final Form Sora, or the Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon that have to be on specific slots, try to compete for those high score challenge medals because they are amazing AoE medals that can go on any Keyblade slots without any conditions. So you can fit them on many Keyblades, different Keyblade slots. So they're kind of the nerf versions of those medals because the Leon, Dazed Riku, and Final Form Sora, they give you an upright strength buff along with others, the general defense down, where these guys are just raw damage. So again, if you have Shion EX or Kyrie X, then you're fine competing for these high score challenge, just getting them and putting Mickey and Brooms on them, and you didn't have to pull for Sora, Riku, or Leon because these medals do it for you. We should be seeing Halloween, the Illustrated Halloween Goofy there as our next high score challenge, and then the Aladdin. So if you didn't pull any of those and you're not going to pull any of those, you can kind of wait for the banners that go along with those high score challenges. So not only are you going to pull for the new banner, you're also going to get a high score challenge medal, and that's why I like pulling during high score challenge medals, because you get new medals and you compete for a new medal as well. So your jewels have a lot of value, but this banner is a falling price deal, so it's really good. As for Trident up there, he is the highest multiplier in the game, but he's random, which makes him good and bad. If you're facing a big group and he doesn't have enough damage to kill each enemy if it lands on them, then he's really bad because his power gets split apart. But if you're facing a single target enemy, this King Trident beats these 3 medals right here. So if you're facing Union Cross, raid bosses, or story bosses, or anything that's just one target, that King Trident has a 21 point something multiplier compared to the 19.80. So he actually trumps these medals, but he has to be on an upright magic slot. So not Diamond Dust, Fairy Stars 3rd slot, you got Divine Rolls 4 slots. So there's really good places for him, but again, he is AoE, but that doesn't really matter. Best multiplier in game for single target random. So with that being said, what's up next that we are gonna pull, and what are we looking forward to? So if you guys have a Shion EX, these are the next reverse medals that are EX. Now you guys can see a question mark down there because they've been doing a pattern. As I told you about the Aladdin and Carpet, the Halloween Donald and Goofy, they all are the same and they all do the same thing, just on different attributes. Same thing with Final Form Sora, Black Hole Riku, and Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon. All have the same multiplier, they just all have different attributes. In this case, it's the same thing. Xehanort and Axel there, one's magic and one is speed. They both have an AoE of 12.54, no condition. They both last for 2 turns, and as you guys can see, they raise 2 reverse strength, and they raise 7 of their current attributes. So Xehanort magic strength times 7, Axel times 7 for speed buff. And then they lower 2 speed buff, or Xehanort lowers just 2 magic. So depending on the attribute that they are, that's what they're going to do. So that being said, these are the next EX medals. They're not going to be guaranteed. They're probably going to be some kind of ridiculous mercy pull or no mercy pull at all. But these are the next reverse medals you guys are looking forward to, because our multipliers, again, are right below the best multipliers in the game. In my opinion, if you have a Kyrie X and you have this, you can kind of skip those medals. The only thing that makes those medals really, really good, because this multiplier is a 3.80 compared to this multiplier of 12.54. The only thing is that you can use less copies or cast of Kyrie X or Xion EX, because medals like this and future medals, they give you that attribute up of and defense down, attribute defense down, where it fills in Kyrie or Xion EX's missing buffs and debuffs. Especially with the reverse strength up ×2, you don't have to cast Xion EX 3 times. You only have to cast her 2 times, because this will give you 6 reverse strength up, which is 1 away from the max. And if you have like a Pete, he gives you the 7th one. So technically, pulling for these medals, even though you have a Xion or Kyrie, is still pretty good, because it makes you use less slots on your Keyblade for just buffing medal. Now you can buff and do a huge amount of damage, because 12.54 is right below the top tier. So these are technically top tier still, but they're not the best AoE. They just come with a lot of utility and mean you have to use 1 less Kyrie or Xion buff. In this case, Xion, because of reverse. And like I said, there's a pattern. They're most likely going to release a reverse power version that's exactly the same, because they released a magic and a speed. Most likely they're going to release a reverse one that has the same exact stats, ability, which is 1 up, the 2 up, 2 down, 7 up for the attributes, and the 12.54 AoE damage. So you guys and JP, I guess, are going to be seeing a reverse power, and then when this happens to us, there's going to be a reverse power. So if you guys want to save for this, you guys can save for this. In my opinion, these are incredible medals, but they're EX medals. They're not guaranteed. The current banner we have, all those medals are kind of guaranteed if you're going to spend a bunch of jewels. So that's something I forgot to say. If you have a lot of jewels and you're going to spend there, spend, but this is what you're missing out on. That's what I'm trying to say by showing you guys the future of what's coming out. So if you pull for the current banner, this is what you're missing out on if you can't save fast enough, because most likely this is going to be a 15 or 20 mercy pull. Now, with that being said, in my little update where I showed you polls, VIP, and high score challenge, I didn't show you these medals, and these are the next medals that just came out in JP not too long ago. First up, I've showed you this before, is a Sora and Kyrie EX. Again, another EX medal, which means it's not going to be easy to acquire. You need a lot of jewels or a lot of luck. But this offers that 3 upright strength like I was talking about. All you need is 2 Kyrie EXs now, or 1 Kyrie X with extra attack, and you complete the upright strength buff, which is priority over every other buff. It's upright or reverse strength, and then normal strength. So 2 Kyries, and then this medal right here, boom, you got all the upright strength you need. The only thing is that it's an upright power, so you have to kind of stick to a power setup, or a combination of power and speed on Olympia, or so on and so on. So look at the tribute and look at the keyblades that you use most, or just look at a keyblade that you might want to use because of this medal. Medal's unique. It restores 3 gauges, also heals you, resets enemies counters, so the numbers above enemies heads, let's say they had 20 and it's down to 1, when you activate it, it'll go back to 20. It's a tier 7. It works like the foretellers, and that's why I said skip foretellers, because medals like this are coming out. AoE 12.0, foretellers AoE 9.96, better AoE. Single target 17.46, so close to the Genie, Hercules, and Jack. They're 19.60, where this is 17.46, but this comes with an amazing amount of buffs and utility. Again, it's only the power version, so there might be a speed version and a magic version. This might be the first of a trio if they keep with that pattern of using 3 medals that are the same, just different attributes. So really good. The only thing that the foretellers have over these medals, again, is that they have a single hit, which makes them MVPs for high score challenges. I believe this medal only does 3 hits, which is very manageable in high score challenge, and you can still get a ridiculous score because the multipliers are so high. So that's what's up next for upright. Another idea if you guys want to skip this banner or not. In my opinion, if you get that Hercules B, you still have a better single target medal because you have Kyrie X or Xion EX. You got to remember, if you have Kyrie X or Shion X, you're only looking at multipliers. So weaker multiplier than Hercules and Valor Genie. If you guys have one of those medals gilted, then you technically don't need this. AoE wise, almost everything I just showed you has the same AoE or better from the Riku, Final Form Sora, and the Leon. But again, this is all in one medal, and it's not that far off to being the best. So let's carry on into the next medal, which we haven't seen yet, is the next copycat medal. Now, what makes this medal unique besides being a tier 7? We have HD Vanitas, which is reverse magic, and he's a tier 7. The thing is, in JP, Naminé here, she came boosted. Well, didn't come boosted. You have a chance at a boosted one with not 1,000 strength, but 2,000 strength boosted. And on top of it, this tier 7 has 4 trade slots. So if somehow you pull multiple copies, and this medal came along with a reprint copy banner, so it came with a bunch of copycat medals, key arts, other ones, HD Vanitas, Sora. It came with a bunch of copycat medals and herself being incredible. So there is a potential of North America getting an incredible copycat banner that has her in it. She has 4 trade slots and has a chance at being boosted at 2,000 extra strength, which is ridiculous. So that's a copycat medal. If you guys want to save for that, you can save for that if you're already comfortable or you feel like you just don't want to compete right now. And finally, last on the list, guys, is the new EX medal in JP, which is Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. They all are exactly the same. They're like the foretellers. Single target has a certain multiplier, AoE has a certain multiplier. So when they're facing a group, their AoE damage is 12.06, which is better than the Sora and Kairi. Actually, no, wait. Sorry, my multiplier on Sora and Kairi is wrong. It's a little bit higher than that. I think it's a 12.46 or something like that. So their multiplier is just a little bit weaker, 12.06. I forgot I had to fix that. So the AoE on these medals is 12.06 and the single target is 16.86. So a little bit weaker on the single target versus other medals, but what makes these medals unique is that they raise the guild by 30%. So those multipliers are actually going to go higher because of them and all your other medals on your Keyblade slot. So let's say you pull Aqua EX over there and you activate her. Not only is her guild 200%, but now it's going to go to 230%, which makes that AoE multiplier stronger and the other AoE or single target multiplier. So your guild, your medals guild, make it better. So all your medals multipliers are going to be a lot stronger, which makes every single medal on your Keyblade stronger, which is technically a new buff. If you look at it, it is a new buff. So not only do we have times 7 strength, attribute strength, upright or reverse strength, we now have guild strength up. Technically, if you look at it that way, it raises all your medals guild by 30%. So if you have a tier 7 on there, all tier 7 medals, now all those medals, instead of doing 200%, they're doing 230%, which changes the multiplier of all those medals, making them really, really good. So in my opinion, these medals are like the best ones to save for. It's not super game changing, but it does affect, especially for someone who has a really good setup. These can wreck a lot of situations like Coliseum, high score challenges, so much, especially when you combine them with boosters. So this is the future, guys. I showed you basically everything that's coming out. Make your choice. Do you want to pull for this banner right here and compete for the next couple of months? Because this will help you catch up. These are powerful medals. I would say pull, but again, it's up to you. I showed you the potential of the future, what's going to happen, what's to come. Multiplier wise, again, if you have Kairi or Shion EX, you look at the multipliers. If you want the new utility, then I would say wait for more medals that have more upright or reverse strength, or you wait for those Terra, Aqua, and Ventus for their 30% boost to gilded medals. Extra gilt on top of those medals. So hopefully here, something I didn't screw up. If I screwed up anything, again, leave in the comment section. I'll make sure to love your comment. It leaves like a little heart in my picture there saying, hey, SmellyOctopus loves your comment. I'll love your guys' comments that show my corrections or your corrections on top of something I said wrong. Like the Kairi and Sora, the multiplier is actually a little bit higher than that. But again, it's all up to you guys. Remember, it's your game. Do what you guys got to do to make yourself feel powerful or happy in the game. Pick one. Do you want to feel super powerful all the time, or do you just want to enjoy the game and get your favorite medals? It's all up to you. It's your game. Play the way you guys want. These are just what's going to come out and what's currently, in my opinion, this banner is really good if you're going to do more than 5 pulls, because you want to get that value of 1900 jewels per pull. But this will drain your jewels, but you will be caught up to everyone else. Just if everyone else already has these, they're saving jewels where you guys are depleted in jewels. But it's an amazing banner, and I really highly recommend it for new players that just joined and want to compete and want to collect medals that are super powerful. Everything in this banner except for 5 medals, technically 2 medals, are just like, ooh, I got that, that's kind of bad. But the chances of that happening, 2 per pull, and they come pre-orbed, means you can easily guilt everything, and everything is during a guilting campaign right now. So it's the best time to do it because you don't have to have a bunch of magic mirrors. Guilted campaign means really high guilt, so it's a really good time. You can call it bait, but I showed you everything that's coming out. Does that really look like bait to you guys? I don't think so. I think everything here is super powerful, especially if you have Kai or Xion EX. If you don't have Kai or Xion EX, look at my free-to-play account. I don't have Kai or Xion EX, and I'm competing with these medals that are in this falling price deal right now. So again, look at your own game, look at what you need. It all depends on what you guys have and what you guys want to do. If I missed anything or if I screwed up anything, like I said, leave it down in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It does take a while to do all of this. There's a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, and a lot of Photoshop. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.